All right, we're going to get started. Welcome to lecture 2, HTML. Just before we start, just show of hands, how many people brought the laptops? Okay, sick. That looks like everyone. So just for a recap, HTML is the first component of the trilogy here of web technologies, basic fundamental web technologies. Later on, we'll go into CSS, and after that, we'll go into JavaScript. So don't be demoralized if what you make with HTML looks really ugly. That's because that's just part of the toolkit. Yep. So we already covered this last lecture, but just for a quick recap, all HTML is just a file. You see over here, index.html. It's just a file with a specially formatted text in it. So it is just text. That's why it has a hypertext in it. It's at the end of the day just special text. Just typing random stuff into an index.html file is a valid index.html file. So this right here is a valid index.html file. You can see when you open it, it actually shows you the website. It doesn't have the new lines, which is interesting. Like that doesn't transfer, but it's a valid HTML file. And all websites start from this. So now we're going to see something new that we didn't see last lecture. So in HTML, you have elements. Elements basically allow you to have a text look prettier or just apply different stylistic decisions to your site. So here we're introducing the B tag. So this stands for bold. As you can see, if you put B tag around some text, it ends up being bold. That's pretty straightforward. This is the opening tag. So the B tag, an opening tag looks like this. It has an opening caret and a closing caret around it. And then a closing tag has a little slash right before it. It's kind of weird syntax, so you'll get used to it. And like here's the opening B tag, here's the closing one. You see it has a slash right here, that means it's closing. So it starts here, ends here. I is italics, and there's a lot more, but these are two basic ones for you right now. What's very important in HTML is you can have elements inside elements, like that. So if you have a B tag, that's bold. If you have an I tag, that's italics. And if you have a B tag inside an I tag, both of those will get applied. So more over here, as you can see, it's both bold and italics. If there's an element inside an element, so in this B right here, that one is a child element. It's like a hierarchy. There's children of this I element. So you can draw this tree if you want. That's actually what's really going on in the rendering agent, rendering engine. It's creating this tree of children. Now you may have wondered, like, why is there no new line going on? Like, why is it all in one line? That's because you have to explicitly put a new line for it to actually go to a new line. In this case, the element's called break, so it's BR. It doesn't take any content or children inside of it for obvious reasons. You don't need, like, it doesn't need anything inside. It doesn't do anything to text. So it's called a self-closing element. You can see here. An opening tag looks like that. A closing tag looks like that. And a self-closing tag, that's wrong. So a self-closing tag looks like that, except the slash should be here at the end. So a normal closing tag is a slash over here, but this is not valid. So this is a trick slide. This slash over here should be at the end because it's a self-closing tag. This shouldn't just be a closing tag. This is both the opening and the closing tag. So you put the slash at the end. I'll show you that in practice later. The fact that it works is because Chrome actually just deals with your mistakes. You can really screw up your HTML files, and Chrome will still figure out what you really meant. So like I typed this completely wrong garbage, and it still read correctly. Like it actually did a new line here. I have one new line here and a new line here. That's why there's two BRs. Still works. HTML is a very generous language. Yeah, so we went over this. It's an opening tag, it's a closing tag. This whole thing here is called an element or a node. So this is the opening tag of this B node. So we'll be using this language a lot. So this whole thing is one node or an element. And this is, yeah, here is correct. See, so br/, that's a self-closing tag. Both opens, closes it, no content. Any questions so far? About anything? Sick. So, what we were doing is technically correct. So technically incorrect. So you need to add this. Each HTML files are formatted in a particular way. You can't just start typing random text. It will work, but if you want to do it properly, you first have to declare that this HTML file is an HTML file, which you do with a doc type. So it's document type, like the document type is HTML of this file. Then you create an HTML opening tag, so it's an HTML element, which contains two children, one head and one body. And then that's it. That's all you need for it to be a valid HTML tag. The title in here and the green text and the P tag, that's just stuff that's added on top. You need doc type, HTML, head, and body. It's written all here. Comments in HTML are like kind of weird. They're not hashtag, they're not 2 slashes. They are specifically that. Opening caret, exclamation mark, dash, dash to open, and the other one to close. Kind of annoying to type. In general, or always, we put stuff that you can see in the body. So here you have a hello world. This will appear in your content, the actual content. And stuff that you can't see, so data, metadata, which is data about your page, goes up here. This includes your title. So this is actually what Chrome will show up in your tab. So when you actually open the tab of this website, there's like a little name of that tab over there always. You know, it will be called page title. That's what this is. So it's not visible in the actual page. It's like metadata for Chrome or whatever browser. Yes. So we're going to be doing an in-class activity. So we need everyone in the grade scope if you're not already in the grade scope. Is anyone not in the grade scope? All right, we'll just wait for some people to join the grade scope. In the meantime, does anyone have any questions about HTML or anything I explained? Yep. Yeah. Does everyone have this thing? I'll come back to it in a sec. So the point of the doc type is actually kind of useless. It goes back to how, yeah, it's basically useless. In programming, when you make a new file, you almost always put what that file is at the top, despite the fact that the file has a .html extension. What actually matters is not the extension, but how the file starts. Extensions came after. So it's for historical reasons. But you'll see this in a lot of other languages, especially scripting languages like Python. Probably haven't been doing it, but you are supposed to start with your Python scripts with a declaration of the fact that it's a Python file. It's you can honestly not do it at this point. Any other questions? I saw some. Yep. We are working on the B courses, so not yet, yeah. Just grade scope and ed for now. Is anyone not in the grade scope? All right. So we're going to do a live demo. Give me 1 second. So this is a follow-along demo. So you are supposed to, in your computer, follow the same thing I'm doing. So does anyone not have VS Code or some code editor installed? Okay, good. So everyone needs to make, what the fuck? 1 second. In the meantime, just open VS Code. Yeah, and we're going to collect all these websites at the end. And I'm going to click on some random ones. I'm going to open them. So please don't put anything that's not academic in them. just keep it chill, especially because we're going to do images later, so just pick good images. Yes. So just open VS Code. Who doesn't have VS Code open? Do you have VS Code? Ah. Well, you can pair up with a partner if you want and just do it with them. I'm not going to pressure you into that. Anyways. Any other issues? Do you have any other text editor? Okay. You can work with someone next to you, I guess. Yep. Do you have your laptop? You have your iPad? I don't think it's worth trying to do on your iPad. So yeah, can you work with gentleman on your left? Any other issues? Yep. So, oh yeah. This is a great scope code. Okay. So once you have your VS Code open, you have to select a folder to open with VS Code. So when you're in VS Code, you do File and Open Folder, and then you should make a new folder where you're going to put this. So like, you go here, I made lecture 1, and then you just select it, and then it opens it here. And then, when you've opened a folder in VS Code, you can make a new file, and then call it whatever you want, .html. Actually call it index.html, specifically that. Index, actually this will make more sense in a second. I'll just call it index. Does anyone not have, I'll wait 5 seconds. Raise your hand if you have problems. All right, anyone not have index.html? Everyone in this room has index.html. Sick, all right. All right, so first task is to have something on your screen. So I put hi, you can put whatever text you want, make it creative. So if I open it, it's funny or something. So just write something, and once you've written something, you have to open it. So to open and visualize an index.html file, you actually have to find it. So you have to find it in your File Explorer, or if you have a Mac, Finder. And then you have to, in Windows, you double click it, and open it in Chrome. There it is. In Mac, probably similar. If not, you can try like dragging it onto Safari. I don't know exactly how it is in Mac. Someone with a Mac managed to do it? Raise your hand. Yep, it's doable. Just double click? All right, same thing, just double click it. And then it should open, right? Raise your hand if you have it opened and you can see your text. All right, put your hands down. I think we have a question. Any questions? Yep. Yep. So all you have to do is you have to, wherever you put, you have an index.html, just right click it and do reveal in File Explorer, or just like find it in your Finder. All right. So nice. So most editors have this HTML5 abbreviation. If you don't have it, that's okay. You don't need it. I'm just going to do it. So if you just type HTML, and then you go to the second option, and you press Enter, it will like literally put all the useless boilerplate code for you, which like you don't need to memorize. I want to have this like that. So you have the HTML, and then it even tells you what language the page is in. It has some stuff over here. This is all useless. Like, you can keep it, but like, it doesn't, it's just some random shit. I don't even know what it is. And this is the title. This is the part that you might actually care about. First task. Yeah, first task is to just type some text in here and have some bold and italics things in here. So I'm just gonna, actually I'm not gonna do it. You guys have to do it. I'll do it in a second. So just have some text with bold and italics somewhere in your text. And new lines, not all in one line. Raise your hand if you have problems or questions. And feel free to write some cool stuff. Yep. Oh, yep. So I'm just going to go through this again. Just HTML. So I don't know if you have this. I have this because I think I have some extension that gives it to me. I have HTML. Oh, I don't. I think it just shows up. If it doesn't, you can just not do it. It's not worth it. But just for clarity, I'm going to keep it up here. Try changing the title too. You should see it changing in the. See how it says my title up here? That's because I put it in the title tag. All right, everyone has some funny text with some bold and italics in there. Anyone have that? Okay, who has it? Raise your hand. All right, it's not bad. So it's like this. Notice I have the self-closing tag over here. If I reload this, you have to reload, by the way. Hopefully everyone got that. You have to reload this this page. And there it is. New my text, bold, italics, new line. All right, cool. Yep. Yep. This one? Yeah. So it's the equivalent of this. So it basically just compacts it. What's your question? It's good. This is not valid though. Like BR has to be self-closing because there's no way you want to put anything in there. There it is. All right, next challenge is to have a P tag. P stands for paragraph. Very common tag. Basically, you don't usually just like leave text just dangling around. You usually put it in a P tag like that. Let me remove this break. So you can see I have my text, bold, italics, and there you have a text that says new line. Does anyone see anything interesting that this P tag, paragraph tag, may have done? Yep. Or just a question? It starts with a new line. That's it. So the P tag added a new line. A lot of elements do this. The bold and the italics tags don't, but the P tag, P element do. See how I removed the blue line, but it's still in the new line. It even added some like space over here, extra space. You'll notice this. So add P tag, yep. Oh yeah. So it also adds space. You can actually right click and inspect element. You don't have to do this, but I'll show you. Shit. So you can see it added some margin. This is new, it's cool, 16 pixels top and bottom. And this display block over here, this is what's creating a new line. I'll explain, this is all CSS, so it'll become clear next lecture. Any questions? All right, everyone has a P. Everyone has a paragraph tag. Next tag. So now we're gonna do a heading tags, header tags. So they look like this. It's H1, so header 1, which stands for header size 1. That's the biggest possible header you can have. And if you just look at that, it's pretty big and bold, and it adds space on the top and the bottom. There's a bunch of stuff for you. It's fantastic. And there's H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6 for all the different sizes. H6 is the smallest one, even though it's the biggest number. It's actually really small. Like H6 might even be smaller than normal text. I actually don't know. Let me confirm that. Yeah, it's pretty small. It's even smaller. It's still bold, still a header, but small. So I just add a few of those. Make your page make sense. You know, have a little title and then like some text, some warning or something. Raise your hand if you have any questions or concerns or problems. Cool. I'm just gonna type out like 2 or 3 more tags, and then you guys can just add them and see what they do. Button makes a button. JavaScript will let you make the button do something. Right now it's just going to be a useless button. Select, same deal. You're going to select, but to no effect because you can't use that information yet without JavaScript. But just go ahead and try those. Just add these to your site. Should look like, actually I won't spoil it, but it's beautiful. Actually, it's pretty ugly. It looks like 1990s websites. Raise your hand if you have any questions again. If you want to demarcate that, you want like for example, this text over here, you want it to be on the same line, but you still don't want it to be floating around randomly, you can have a span. There you have a span. So you can actually just, these new lines don't do anything right again, so you can just do like that, and it will look the same. Hmm? Oh no. It's very unfortunate. All right. I'm going to say that all again. What part did I die? Before the span. Shit. All right. This is what it looks like. If you want this, so this is my text is floating around. It's not great practice. You just have random text. So you can put it inside a span, which basically stands for text, which I don't want a new line around or like anything applied to it, as if you hadn't added the span. It will be even more useful later when we have CSS and some other stuff, JavaScript. All right, and I removed these like I just put it all in a new line because it doesn't matter that like they don't need to be in the same line because it looks the same, just like that. Nothing changed, to be clear. I added the span, I moved things around, nothing changed. You don't have to add a span, it's pretty useless for now. Div stands for division. Pretty important. Imagine I want to just like, in my head, say like, I want this to be one part of my site and this to be another. I do something like, that. It doesn't do anything. Actually, it will add a new line right in front, but no margin. So it's like more passive than most of the elements. Else, a new line puts it into its own place. But basically, it's just for you to say, like, that's your first part of the website, that's your second part. Again, it'll be more useful when you have CSS. Yep. Preview. Yes. So right-click on your file and do Reveal in File Explorer. And then when you have it here, just double-click it. Do you have a Mac? Okay, yeah, it should work. Just double-click it. Should open in Safari. And just add these divs. Divs are they're the most, basically the one you're going to use the most when you're making sites. All right, here's a cool one. Did it work, by the way? Did you find it in Finder? Someone's helping you. Nice. So these are lists. So there's two kinds. There's a unordered and ordered lists. So that's GitHub Copilot. It's a generative AI which codes for you. It's fantastic. Highly recommend it. Just like type that for me, basically. But what this is saying is you have an unordered list, which means bullet points. And ordered list means numbers. And if you just press tab here, it'll create these. And these stand for list items. So you have an unordered list with 3 items in it. I'm just going to, actually, I won't spoil it, but basically just bullet points. Or you can have an ordered list, where instead of UL, you do OL, ordered list. And that will have 1, 2, 3. Any questions about any of this? There's a lot more HTML elements. I won't be going through every single element in existence. Like there's a lot you'll see later. But here's just a few that GitHub Copilot will generate for me. So if I just make a table, come on, there it is. Yeah, I don't know what the hell any of this means, but I should make a table. There you go. There's a table. It's got like 2 columns. There's a bunch. But the point is, like, you don't need to memorize every single one of them. Those are just the important ones. For if you want to do anything else, you can just search it up or ask ChatGPT. Oh, yeah, that's another important one. So this text area, also useless for now. You don't need to do this one. It's just that's what it looks like. It's just a place you can type stuff. Useless. You can't use this information yet, but it'll be useful soon, like for forms and stuff. And you can resize it. It's like a really weird one. You've probably never seen it in the internet before, because it's like people usually remove this resize option and like make it prettier, but it is used a lot. Any questions? Yep. GitHub Copilot is this one. Let me show you. It costs money, but if you're a student, you can get it for free. So you can get it for free. This one. It's pretty cool. You can get a free trial of like a year or something if you're a student without paying, like not even putting your credit card. It's pretty nice. You should definitely have it. And then you add VS Code and just codes for you. It's fantastic. Although I wouldn't get too used to it yet. Like, don't rely on it yet. It shouldn't be a substitute for critical thinking. That won't take you very far. Anyways, that's the first demo. Any questions about the first demo? Yep. Of course. This stuff? I mean, yeah, you can take one. It's not like very important to take a picture of this. You can just ask ChatGPT to give you an HTML file with a bunch of different elements, and it'll just give you this. This is like basic stuff. All right. Any other questions? Yep. You can't input the less than symbol in VS Code? What happens when you try to do it? Like that? Yeah, that's just, did you finish typing it? What, like, wait. Oh, that's actually a pretty good question. If you actually want to display a less than symbol like that, it'll show up red because it thinks you're trying to make a new tag. I think it will work though, like if you actually just look at it. Yeah, there it is. It works. It's just VS Code is expecting you to, it's just a viewer error. But if you want to display, it's still a good question, because if you want to display like specifically this text, like this text here, you can, right? Because it'll make a new list element. I think you can escape it. I actually don't think you can escape it. I think what you have to do, yeah, you can't escape it. So what you have to do is you have to use HTML entities. Your question? Ampersand LT, like that. Oh, yes, this, right? Like that. Does that work? Nice. That's how you do it. It's called HTML entities. Basically, every single character has a reduced form that looks like that. Can I do that? Will that work? Yeah, there you go. So now I have it. And it doesn't think it's an element. Thank you for that. Yep, anyways. Off tangent a little bit. Any more questions? I've been told I rush too much. Sick. All right. Attributes. Certain elements that you make will want more information to exist. So for example, this A element, it's just A. It doesn't, I don't know what it stands for. It's a link. And basically, it basically makes whatever text is inside of it a link to somewhere, but to where you tell it in using an attribute. Elements take in attributes in their opening tag. So this element is A element over here, takes in one attribute. The attribute name is href. Href stands for, I have no idea, hyperlink maybe? I don't know. Or reference, hyperreference. And then the value of the href attribute is equal to this URL. But this isn't specific to the A element. You're going to see a lot of different attributes that you pass into a lot of different elements, and they all have different names, and the values are interpreted differently. So in this case, the link, sometimes it'll be like entire coding languages you can just put inside that little quotation like in here. Yeah. Try this. So this will basically add a link to Google. Well, you don't try it yet. Try it in the next slide. This will make a link to Google. Any questions about this? Paths. So the path I just showed you was an absolute path to the internet using the hypertext transfer protocol secure version. And it goes to google.com. That is an absolute path. There's different kinds of paths. There's relative paths. So, absolute paths that stay in your computer. This one over here is in my computer. That's where I have an index.html file. It starts on my C drive. Obviously, you can't share that with someone. It only works on your computer, so it's a local path. But it's still absolute. Relative paths are relative to the file that they're written in. So, for example, if you have an index.html file and you want a link to point to an about.html file, you write a path that looks like that. So it's dot slash, which means dot means this directory, slash means in this directory go to about.html. This is the equivalent. This means in my parent directory, so it goes like back to another folder it's like, so if index.html is in some folder, dot slash will go out of that folder and back into somewhere up there. Although, yeah, this one's not used that much. And index.html, this is equivalent to this. So the dot slash, you can omit it. If you just type the name of a file, it's basically saying a file in this directory, like the same place. Any questions about that? Or relative paths? It's pretty simple stuff. Okay. This one? Yep, I'm going to do a demo now anyways about this. Just absorb this for a second. All right. All right, I cleaned it up. You shouldn't, though, because you'll have to submit this, so just keep all the tags there. So we're going to start with making a tag. Oh, PHP, terrible language, but it's making a cameo here in GitHub Copilot. We're going to do Google first. This is called login, but it obviously won't log you in. It will just take you to Google. There you go. Go ahead and try adding a link like that. How this is working basically is, just ignore this for a second. I'm going to delete it actually. Sorry. This is just a normal element, right? But then in the opening tag, you specify one attribute. It's like a key value store where you can specify more. Like I could have like, this won't do anything because it doesn't need a property. This won't do anything because it doesn't need a lamao, obviously, right? It doesn't care about this, but it will look at href. Key value store, Raise your hand if you have this. I'm just going to wait 20 more seconds here. Raise your hand if you have this. All right, whatever, good enough. So, next one is, oh yeah. So how do you make another page? I hear you asking. Your website, you just make it. So here's the about page. Here's a, it's beautiful. My name is Sebi and I'm 42 years old. How do I make it take me here? I change this to a relative path. So I could, here I'll show you. So I find my about page. I want to see it, so click it. It's not obviously how the user should do it. Here it is. And now I can just copy this whole path. Ah, shit. Just like that, and just put it here. That will work. So now if I go back to my index.html and I click login, it takes me to my about page. Now, that's not a good way of doing it, because like imagine you move this site somewhere else in your computer and you don't want, like this link will stop working because maybe you change the folder name to lecture 2. You want this link to work always. Pretty obvious how to do that. You just change this to a relative path. So you do ./about.html. And that will still work the same way. And you can even remove the ./ because that's cool. And remove this. Everyone do that. Make another page. Actually, yeah, you can do it, but you don't need to. This part is optional. Next, images is a key component of the web. This is how you do it. It's actually pretty similar to the A element, except, are there any questions before that? Okay. Oh, that's cool. I don't know what it's going to do, but. So it's a self-closing tag. It doesn't have anything in it. Just like that. Wow, all right. So GitHub Copilot gave me some random image on the internet. But how you do this in general is, so you have the image, the source. This is where the image is. And I'm going to ignore this for now. So here you can see you have an image. Different every time. Okay, this is actually such a bad example. Sorry. So let's find an image. So what you should do is you should go to Google and you should find an image. There you go. Classic. Grab this. So the first thing I'm going to do is oh, it's in Spanish. So this is copy image URL. Hopefully this is something you can translate. But the point is when you type this and you go to it, you should see just the image. Like there should be no website, just the image, just like that. There it is. And then what you can do is you can grab this URL and paste it here. And there you have colossal, oh my God, it's so big. Okay, pick a smaller image for yours. I'm going to delete this because it's too big. Any questions about that? Basically all it is you're just pointing to an image out in someone else's website. Just get this done, and while you got this done, I'm going to show you the way you're supposed to actually do this. So if you find an image, right now you're relying on vox-cdn.com to stay online. If they go bankrupt and die, you would no longer, your website would stop working because you could not access this 9cat image. So what you're supposed to do is you go to your image and you save it in your computer in the correct adequate place. So here's my 9cat. I'm going to call it nyan.png. And then I'm going to go here, and I'm just going to, so here it is, right? It's right here. I'm going to do relative path, nyan.png. And this will work just the same. Well, I changed the image, but just the same. But now I'm not relying on some random server. I have the image in my own server, and this works. Yeah, that part is making an image is also optional because I don't think you'll be able to submit this. Actually, 1 second. Don't do it this way. Keep the global path to the internet of someone's website. It'll be easier to submit at the end. So just don't download. You can download it, but like just keep this path. Keep this path global. You had a question over there? I just did. Well, because I put it in the same directory when I saved it, and then it just appeared. I guess this reload could help. It doesn't need to show up though. As long as it's actually there, it will appear on your website. Any other questions? Yep. That was useless. That was to prove the point that this is kind of like each element, this A element takes in one attribute, but that's not special. You can get it. You can give it as many attributes as you want. Here I'm giving a href. It's like a key value spare. Key href value about key lemma value this, and the A element is just choosing to look at the href one. You'll see many different ones later. For now, here I'll show you one right now. So if I go here. This is called the alternative text because if I give it a URL which is invalid, it's going to be like, I give it a second. Thank you, by the way, for letting me know. To unplug it just a little bit. So I created here an alt thing just to drive home the point here. I'm going to give it like 42. So if this URL is invalid, the question is, what do you want to show the user if the image that you were pointing to has now died or is no longer available? In this case, it's going to show you like image not found, but also your alt text. So here I could have a description of what I'm trying to show so that at least some of the value is still there and the website is still usable. But as you can see, all I'm trying to say is like each element takes in many different kind of attributes. Any other questions? Cool. Oh, I wasn't looking. Any questions? Yep. Yes. If you put a GIF there, it should work. A video is different. That, I don't know off the top of my head. You have to search up. But it's pretty simple. It'll probably just be like, here. Is it just video? Yeah. There. Cool tag. I don't think this will work. It might work. If you put an MP4 file in there, it might just work. I don't know. Good question though. And finally, one of the most important elements that exist is the input element. So we already saw the text area. Text area is cool, but it's kind of weird and big and you can resize it. Almost all input you're going to be taking is with the input element. I'm just going to close it here because I don't want any of this stuff it's giving me. And here it is. There's an input element. I can type things in. There's different kinds of input you could take. Wait, I want to see what it was telling me here. Yep, nice. I'm going to remove this stuff though. So here I'm doing type text. This is the default. It won't change anything. So if I just show you, nothing changed. If I do type number, it will only let you type numbers. So I'm trying to type letters. It won't work. And even has this stuff here to like increase it. It's pretty cool. There's different ones. There's just try a few of these. Oh, you should add one of these to your website or as many as you want, I guess. There's color. Color's cool. Pick a color. And there's checkbox. Checkbox is probably the most useful one here. Checked. Unchecked. This is from the type attribute. Anyone have any questions even about attributes or anything that I've explained? Anything here not? Yep. Yes. So text area is big. Text area, first of all, it's not a self-closing tag. Don't ask me why, but it just isn't. But second of all, it's really big. Let me remove this type checkbox from here. So first of all, input can be many different things. As we've seen, it can be a checkbox, but also if you just leave it default, you can't resize this. Well, this one, you can resize. A little size. It's text area is used less because usually you don't want your clients or users typing multi-line things and changing your website by dragging this stuff around. You just have this. Good question. Any other questions? Yep. So BR is just break. P, so functionally they're the same. Almost. Here. Actually, I'll answer this more specifically after lecture, but I'll just quickly answer it. BR adds a line break right where you put it, and P actually takes in text and adds a line break on top and in the bottom, but only if it needs to. If it doesn't need to, it won't do it, so it won't add an extra line break. So it's basically smarter BR. But almost all elements do this. So like div does it, h1 does it, almost all of them add BRs by themselves. That's a good question. Any other, yep.
So my number of inputs, I can actually put an E, the alphabet E.
Oh yeah.
And the number, but not the others alphabetic.
That's a very interesting observation. You can add E's in here. Only one. Probably, does anyone have any idea? Because I do, but it's a guess. I don't want to steal this, yep. Yeah. I guess like you can add some number here. Oops. Yeah, like 66 to the power of 34. Times 10 to the power of 30. Actually, just a tangent. Any other questions? Yep. This is the answer to life, the universe, everything, but it's not relevant. Any other questions? The good question, though. Sick. All right, that's the demo. Now I'm going to show you how you can create a website from this. Okay, first thing is this is just like 1% of all of the things you have available. Div is the biggest one because it's like the element which does almost nothing, but it's almost the one you're going to use the most. And all these are just other elements, and there's more. This is just some of them. And like there's more than it looks like here. This image makes them look like there's not that many. Like each one of these is a different element. A lot of them. So don't try to memorize them. Just search it up. Oh yeah, here's another slide to drive this point home. I asked DALL-E from OpenAI to try to give me all the elements, and I couldn't even remember one. So don't get demoralized if you can't remember all of them. Here's its pitiful attempt to try to make a collage with all of them. Everything's wrong. All right. If you want to show this website to your friends, there's better ways than just sending them your index.html file or your entire folder to them. You have to host it. We're going to use a free hosting service called tiny.host. TIINY.host, 2 I's. Tiny was probably taken, unfortunately. But if you go here, I'm just going to show you and go back to the link. You can upload your .html file. Now, you can upload more stuff, but for now, just upload your .html file, nothing else, not your about, nothing, which will mean some stuff might be broken, like if you have another page or if you have images that are stored. Just upload your HTML file for now. Or if you want to be fancy, you can probably upload the whole thing. But the requirement is just one HTML file in here, and that will give you, here, I'll show you. Yeah, I'm just going to lie here. That's my real email, whatever. All right, it's doing magic. Someone has to wake up. Boom. There's your URL, and there's my website. What the fuck? Oh, you see here it says nearly. Gotta catch it. All right, well, the point is upload it, and it will work eventually. Hopefully quickly. I wasn't expecting this not to work last time. It worked quickly. Do this though. Here's the URL. It will give you a website which you can share with your friends and us. So there's the instructions. Finish your website. Oh, you have 10 more minutes. good news. You have 10 minutes to finish your website, and then make it in tiny.host, upload it to Gradescope. There's a Gradescope assignment for this. And then I will open some random ones up here for fun. Yep.
Let's say just search up like an image.
Mm-hmm.
So how do I get the image? That's like a link.
Yep.
Right?
So
And then do copy image address. It's a fourth option. Oh. Yeah, and it's weird.
okay, try to open it. All right, tiny.host sucks. So I'm going to find a better one. But in the meantime, just make your website good. Also, someone asked me how to grab an image, and it's not straightforward. So when you have an image, just right-click it, and there's like an option. So you don't just click it, because if you click it, it takes you to a website, which is a Wikipedia page. But if you actually like want the image, oh, screw this. You have to right-click here and copy URL. And that will give you the actual image. It's very important. All right. Yep. Oh. Okay. I'll try that if I can't find just a better one. It's pretty painful. I don't have an account. Seems like tinyhost URL, whatever, doesn't work for me, but it seems to have worked for a lot of people. Oh, 4 more minutes. I don't know why that's happening to you.
Oh,
Oh, you got it?
Oh.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So, yep.
How do we keep the vitamin? Because there's nothing there.
I will clarify it at the end. Although I don't know. So, thank you. All right. You're free to keep working on it. I'm going to start clicking on some random ones. Oh.
If my computer doesn't power, can I just use my classmate's
Yeah, that's fine.
file and then I copy that and paste it to
Yes, do that. Put the same link. Yeah,
Okay.
good idea. If you work with someone else, just to make a submission in the Airtable with your email, but put their link. So the same link, just submit twice. So we know that you did it. All right. Here they are, all of the submissions. All right, I don't want to be biased here, so I'm just going to do a random number. Sorry if you, okay. All right, it's 47. Got this one. Let's see. Incredible. I'll log in, goes to Google, about. Beautiful. Good job, whoever did that. I'm going to do another random number. If you want a specific number, you can shout it out. I'll just go to it if you see yours. Here's 39. That's pretty smart. I'm not going to lie. You can do that. You can do that. All right. Same. What? That was yours? Yeah, good job. It's clever. Oh shit, did I just delete it? Oh no. Oops. I may have deleted this one. Sorry about that. Your still count. Your submission will still count, but you can resubmit if you. It's okay. Sorry. 67. All right, we'll do a few more and then we'll call it a day. Some flowers. Nice. Some nice relaxing. Oh, it's gone. All right. 35. Of course. Yeah. I'll do the ones with the comments, actually. All right. Wow. It's an explosive site. Yuption. Oh, look at that. It's fucking fake transparent. Yo. That's crazy. Oh my god. Okay, that goes to YouTube. And I don't know if I want to click it. All right. Cool. All right, let's see. The best part of my website didn't upload because the image is taken. That's unfortunate, but we can still see it. Among Us, Among Us, Among Us, Among Us, Among Us. Very creative, very creative. This one. Wow. Sick. Not sure how to add a picture. It's fair enough. Incredible. Anyway, I'm gonna go to this one. It seems like a heavy promise. Oh my god. That's kind of rude. All right, good job. Okay. And this one. This is Justin over here. Welcome to the class. Ooh, you got it. Nice. There you go, the Empire State. Good job. Open for good luck. Can't not open that one. Yep. That is beautiful. I don't know who that is, somehow. Oh my god, nope, 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 nope. There's 2 Rickrolls. God damn.
Wait, on my side.
Hmm?
I don't know what number it is.
What's your email?
Art773.
773?
There you go.
Yo. Around the world. Is that? Oh my god. I swear.
Click on the link.
No.
This one? Well, I can literally see right there it's going to YouTube. But I'm going to do it anyways. Wow. Incredible. 3 Rickrolls. I do low-key be saying naughty words. It's alright, we can deal with that. Alright, got death itself on that one. Oh, it wasn't. Alright, alright, appreciate that. Let me just make sure there's nothing else. Oh, there's a little video. Alright, alright. This is a recap. Oh, will this work?
Hypertext markup.
No. All right, that doesn't work. I'll send that link and add. It's a very good recap of all the basics.
Hypertext markup.
Shut up. All right, and there's attendance link. Thank you for coming. Make sure to fill that out, and I hope you enjoyed today's lecture. And let me know. Actually, yeah, just raise your hand if you have any questions right now. Yep. Oh, it's 42, the number, 4 and then 2. No letters in there, just the number. Yeah, 42. The secret code is 4242. The number 42. Any other questions? Oh yeah, there's a vitamin due. The vitamin is accessible in the fullstackdecal.com website. I'm going to make an ad post about this in a second. You just go to content, vitamins, vitamin 1. And here it is. You just have to do this vitamin. It's due next Wednesday, I think. You actually, I think you just upload the entire thing into GradeScope. Yeah, although there is the project you turn in like that. Yep.
Scope code, but I never got that.
It's an ad, so you can just grab it there. It's an
Sorry?
ad, and add them on the ad.
Okay, got it.
Thanks for coming.